friends, it's Miss Abby from the La Crosse Public Library, and I'm back again for another Craft-A-Palooza. For this month's craft, we are going to learn how to macrame, and we're going to learn how to make macrame keychains. So you might not have keys at home that you use, but you can always attach the key ring to your backpack or have it as a little charm, or attach anything you want to keep an eye on because you'll have a very gorgeous keychain by the time we're done with this craft. So let's get started. All right, friends, let's get started. So inside your kit, you'll find 2 wooden beads, a keychain ring, and 2 cords of macrame rope. Each are about 35 inches long. You probably won't use the whole length of the cord, but it's nice for us to just get started. So to start our keychain, we're going to set our beads aside. We won't need those right now. And what we want to do is divide the cord into thirds. So what I like to do is I like to fold the cord at least 3 times. So as you can see, if I fold it and try to make it as even as possible, so it's 1, 2, 3, we have the cord in thirds. I'm going to pinch the loop. So now if I stretch out my cord, you'll see I'll have 1/3 and 2/3 of a tail. We want the long end of the tail on the outside, and we want the short end inside. So then we're going to take our keychain and we're going to make a real simple knot. So we're going to stick our loop up from the bottom, like up through the keychain. We're going to take the cord and we're just going to take both ends of the cord, trying to make sure it stays in that 1/3 versus 2/3 length, and we're going to pull it through that loop. Okay, and again, you want to make sure that the shorter end of the rope stays on the inside. So you can see I have my longer end and I have my shorter end. And so it's on the loop. You can see that knot, okay? We're going to do the exact same thing with our other cord, okay? Right now we're just getting our macrame rope ready. We're not actually tying any knots yet. So same thing. We're going to take our cord and divide it into thirds. So this is about even. See 1, 2, and 3. We're going to grab that loop where we have the shorter end on the inside and the longer end on the outside. So again, we're going to take our keychain. We're going to off on the left-hand side because we want, remember, the shorter ends in the middle. We're going to take our loop up through the bottom, and take the 2 ends up through that loop. Again, trying to maintain that 2/3 versus 1/3 ratio. Whoops. And if it's not exact, that's okay. You can always trim with a scissors, but you do need the shorter end on the inside. So then we have our knots on the keychain. What I'm going to do now is flip it over because to work with our cords, we want to see that at the top, those knots at the top. Okay, so now we're going to work on our square knot. And when this knot is finished, it will look like a square. So as you can see, we have the longer ends of our cord on the outside and the shorter ends in the middle. And the first thing we're going to do is make a 4, the number 4. So we're going to start with the long cord on the left, and we're going to bring it over the 2 middle cords. See how it's over? Again, we have our long cord on the left-hand side. We're going to bring it over the 2 middle cords. Okay. Now we're going to take the furthest right cord, this long 2/3 piece. We're going to take the end. It's going to go underneath the 2 short middle cords and then up through the 4. Okay. And then you're going to pull it tightly, very slowly. Oops. And this cord needs to go underneath here. We'll do it again, so don't worry, friends. Miss Abby goofed up. So as you can see, there's a knot, and then we're going to pull it all the way up to the top of the keychain. And I like to go nice and slow to make sure my knot looks nice and tight and crisp. We're going to pull it up right to the top. And then when it gets there, you want to pull it tight. Okay, so that's the first part of our square knot. That's the top of our square. Now we're going to do that exact same thing on the other side. We're going to do a backwards 4. So we're going to take our long length of cord on the right hand side. We're going to make a backwards 4. We're going to go over the 2 center cords under the long cord. Then we're going to take the long cord on the left hand side, go under the center cords and up under that 4. And again, we're going to pull it up to the top. You can take time to straighten out the middle cords. See how I keep straightening, make sure they're flat. If you wanted to tape down your ring to a table, you could do that, or you could ask a friend or a grown-up to hold it for you as you're tightening these cords. And there we have our first square knot. You can kind of see it looks like a square. That's our first square knot. And so then we're going to do that again, that whole process. So we're going to make our 4. We're going to take the left hand longer cord. It goes over the 2 in the center. It goes under the long cord on the right hand side. And then we're going to take that long right hand side cord, go under the 2 middle cords and up through the 4. Then we're going to pull it up nice and slow to keep things nice and even. If you're really good at friendship bracelets or you've done macrame before, this process might be quicker for you. You might just be speeding along, but I am just learning macrame, just like you. So I like to go nice and slow. So now we made the top of our square knot. We're going to make the bottom. So we need our backwards 4. And then we're going to take the left hand long cord and we're going to go under. We're going to pull it up. Nice and slow. And you're just going to keep doing that depending on how long you want your keychain to be. If you want your keychain to be symmetrical, so you have the same length of knots, a bead in the center and the same length of knots at the bottom, I'd recommend doing 5 square knots, adding your bead, and then do another 5 square knots. So it's totally up to you. And in a moment, I'll show you how to add your bead as well as add a tassel at the end. Okay, friends, as you can see, I've made 5 square knots. And now I'm going to add my bead. So you'll just slide your bead onto the 2 center strands and bring it up nice and snug. And then what you're going to do is just simply continue making square knots. So I'm going to take my longer cord from the left hand side. I'm going to bring it over the middle, under the outer left hand cord, and then I'm going to take this cord, bring it under the 2 center, up through that 4 shape, and then just tighten it up. And that'll lock your bead in place. And then you're ready to continue with your square knots. So again, we're moving on to the backwards 4 to the left hand side. So over, 2 middle, under, and then we take the outer right hand cord this time, under the middle, up and through. And then you can continue on again if you want to make it symmetrical. I did 5 square knots on top, so I'm going to do 5 square knots on the bottom, but you could also choose to make your keychain longer. It's totally up to you, friends. All right, friends, now we're ready to finish our keychain. As you can see, I added 5 more square knots. So I had 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom, and we're just going to tie off our cord with a knot at the bottom. So you want to grab all 4 cords Bring them through, and you want to make sure that knot is as tight and as even as it can be at the end of your keychain. So really push those cords up there, make it nice and tight. And what I'm actually going to do is tassel my cords a little bit because I think that looks nice. So once you got that knot nice and tight, what you can do is decide how long you want the bottom of your keychain. Mine's not going to be super long, so I'm going to just grab a scissors and I'm going to cut. And since the cord's thick, you might just want to cut 2 at a time. Try to make it a bit even. If it's not, that's okay too. And then what I like to do with this thread is you can see it's just really wound together. So all you have to do is tassel is just kind of unwind it like this. You're going to do that with each of the cords. Just going to pull it apart. What I actually did when I was first practicing this was I grabbed a fork at home when I had all of the threads unwound, and I just kind of brushed through it to make it nice and smooth. But we're gonna pull these apart. Got one more. There we go. And then you have a nice tassel at the bottom of your keychain. There you go, friends. So you can use that keychain. You can give it as a gift. You can attach it to your backpack. But I hope you enjoy this Craft-A-Palooza. And maybe it'll even inspire you to learn some more macrame knots and make different creations. All right, friends, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.